Today's beauty industry is going through a massive change. Companies have finally started questioning themselves on what they could do differently and how they can adjust their business strategies in order to make it more sustainable. These processes are probably going to take ages, yet I personally believe that we still have to talk about it, get some inspiration from those who already started taking steps towards sustainable business development. So today I'm here in Berlin and I'm meeting Ingrid, a co-founder of online store, beauty store Amazingy, which was founded in 2011. Amazingy are selling and producing organic makeup lines and skincare products. So I'm super curious to talk to Ingrid to find out why they decided to start this business for so many years ago and what keeps them going.
Oh, good question. How long have we been here? Do you know that, Anneke? No, in this office.
Yeah, office.
2015, I think, 4 years.
Okay, but the brand started?
The brand started 9 years ago, but then we were still at the location where the warehouse is. At some point it didn't fit anymore, the products and us. So yeah, we found this location. We really wanted to stay in Friedrichshain. It has a nice village, calm feeling, and it's pretty central. And then we found this spot, and next door the store, well, we'll go afterwards. It was Floris, my husband. He came up with the idea of selling mineral makeup online. Back in the days we were DJ. We moved to Berlin for that reason, because we're Dutch. And we started to look at what kind of food we were eating. I thought, oh, what am I actually putting on my skin? Floris said, yeah, you are ordering this makeup in England. Why can't you buy this here? I mean, Germany is so big and there's organic supermarkets everywhere. I said, okay, let's start a brand and bring it to Germany.
Switching from DJing to business, running a business, it's kind of a big deal. How did you...
It wasn't that big actually, because Floris and I also had a company with the DJing. So we were DJing on parties, but we also organized parties. Yeah, my dad has his own company, my granddad has his own company, Floris' dad has his own company. So it was sort of a natural thing. I did work at the bank, the ING bank, for like 9 months. And then I ran away, more or less, like, oh my God, I need to finish here. This is not me. I did some internships at several companies to have a look at, etc. But running a business was definitely always something that felt natural and we wanted to do. And I also studied small business and retail management, which is a studies in Holland that really trains you to run your own business.
I'm just curious, when you hire new people, do you ask them if they are vegetarian, vegan?
No, I mean, I can't ask them of that, and I'm not a vegan, 100% vegan person myself. I do eat meat every now and then, but very carefully, and only if I feel my body really wants it. And I like to have. I hope I buy organic stuff. I buy organic stuff with the conscious in that sense. But of course we asked them why did they write us, and they should share the knowledge in a way, you know, or have the same kind of feeling. I think we're all sort of apostles of spreading the word. And one question I always like to ask is for the atmosphere is like, would I invite this person at my after hour? Because back in the days when we were DJing, in Holland at some point the clubs closed, but there was still an after hour. And then you always wanted to have the people with the good vibes in that sense. And I think that's actually a really good question if after our party, because you saw it, we work in an open space, and I think that is also very important that you have a good connectivity with each other for the energy.
And for you, what do you find the most challenging about having your business?
It's definitely the personal as well, yeah. I mean, if you're still little and you're still in one room, then it's a lot easier. And now it's a lot of managing, and because we are testing or playing around with this, it's called Reinventing Organizations. It's from a French guy, Laroux. He wrote this book, and he calls this teal organizations. But yeah, we've noticed that this is still a long way to go, and it needs time. And we would like to have this flat hierarchy, but we work with a lot of young people, and yeah, some people do need guidance in a way. Sometimes we were maybe a bit too free, you know, and it takes trust and courage. But we have a coach, and it's also an exciting part to get there. But that's a whole different part people don't see if they buy a product here. It's a business on its own almost, to get everyone happy here and to make this little utopia working. That's the most challenging part. We plant a tree with every order, with Trees for the Future. We donate to small charities. This year, in the beginning of summer, we had our first charity box, which had over 400 euro retail value, and we sold it for 100 euros, which went for 90 euros of every box went straight to charity on Lesbos, to the refugees. There's still a lot of refugees coming in every day, a lot of minors, and a lot of mothers with their children, pregnant ladies. It's awful. And we will launch one again in January, and we now want to double the boxes and hope we can help more people and create more awareness.
In today's world, where everyone is obsessed with the eco-friendly lifestyle and people are starting to think forward to live sustainable life, do you feel that you are helping society with the business? Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, one of the main reasons why we're doing this is to raise awareness, and not first of all to make money. For us, it's really the educating part. First of all, inside here to create this utopia where all our employees feel happy. I mean, it's still it's not that easy as I'm telling about this now. It's the struggle as well, but we're trying. And then I hope that it will spread. And then online we have this blog and also our videos. We really like to educate people, because for me it's super important that we will start living in a transparent world where everyone can make their own decisions based on facts and not based on some marketing theory some person made up because you need this or you need... no, only buy stuff if you really need it, and we will try to learn people about ingredients.
And you also mentioned that you are making events here sometimes. Mm-hmm. Is it also somehow connected to educating people?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's of course nice also to give something back to the customer, because they get most of the time also products or a good deal. But it's a lot about educating, because there's still, we live in our organic bubble, I always tell, or natural bubble, but there's still a lot of knowledge to share and people are still unaware. I mean, we are in Berlin now, but from in smaller villages and anything, it's not that people are all vegetarian now and using organic creams. Packaging, we try to do as sustainable as possible. We reuse everything in our wholesale parcels. We have, of course, the biodegradable chips. Packaging-wise, it's the discussion we have every week. Glass, plastic, there is no real good alternative yet, but at least the plastic industry is changing. There's more recycled plastic packaging coming in. For a while, we didn't sell any nail polish because of the microplastic. And then we thought, you know what, we are not the police, and I think people should decide for themselves. So now we do have a little collection, 3 brands. One of them is water-based for more than 50%, a lot better than the normal lac. We're working on refillables, so those you buy in a little envelope, and we have those pellets, and we want to do refillable as much as possible. And also we have Care Rice, which is also a refillable brand. I think that is really interesting, that people are not only selling good ingredients, but they also think about how they ship it, how they serve it, how can we be more responsible.
But when you just started with your husband, at some point you had to delegate part of the assignments. How did it feel for you? Was it difficult to find a person to delegate? Because it's
very difficult.
You always feel like, I can manage everything on my own, but then you can't really.
No, you have to. That is definitely was also a learning process. I mean, when I studied, my teacher once said, she gave me a book tip. It was called Learning to Delegate, because in school we had to work in groups. I was always the person that said, okay, I'll do everything, just knowing that it will be perfect. Perfectionism is a thing. So when we grew, we had to hire someone, and Floris was the one who said, we need one. And I was like, really? I don't know, or I'm not sure. But he convinced me, and then I said, okay, let's do this. And then I also learned that, together you can do more stuff. And I think it's good to find the qualities in every person, and they use their qualities, and I use mine, and then it's a lot, you get more synergy. Ilia started with just 6 lip products or 9, the TLCs, the tinted lip conditioners, that are buildable and they are super moisturizing. For instance, Arabian Nights, it looks very dark, but it is actually really nice on almost everyone. This one was used on the leading lady in 50 Shades of Grey. It was sold out straight after, of course, because the makeup artist told on Instagram what she used on her. One of our newest brands, I totally forgot to tell. It's a new project from Flores and me. Actually, Nina also helped us there, your friend, with designing the labels. Flores Ingrid, that's the joke, but it means for your information. What we noticed is that we really wanted to create a brand with accessible prices and single ingredient oils that are for everyone available, because not everyone can pay 80 or 100 euro for a skincare product. It's all in ultraviolet glass, so it's really stays fresh in here. Jojoba oil, which is similar to human skin sebum. Almond oil, which is really good for massage, for pregnancy, but also to remove eye makeup or just makeup. And this is one of my favorites, squalane. It's odorless, it is in an oil, but it's not greasy. People with the most sensitive skin can use this. And you can use this on your finger, cuticles, on your hair. I love it. I use it every day. We have so many beautiful ingredients now. And it's not that I'm against chemical ingredients. I mean, there's also chemical ingredients that are totally safe. The big question is that we should know about the ingredients. What do they do? How are they produced? And let people decide for themselves. Don't try to sell some air or some water and glycerin.
Do you see social media really helping you to create awareness about your brand? Or are there still customers just finding you by coming by from the street?
It's a mix. As Instagram definitely, we have definitely a lot of people coming in via Instagram. And imagine that when we started, Instagram wasn't there yet. It's crazy how this developed in a short period of time. We also work together with a lot of blogs, unpaid, just sending them products. In the beginning of blogging, that was still possible. Because of Instagram, people have a lot more knowledge of brands. And they just search for the brands, where can I buy in Berlin, if they want to visit a real store. Yeah. It's a mixture, and I'm very curious where Instagram will go as well. I'm always thinking we shouldn't be too dependent on this.
If you think now about the start of your journey, are there any things that you would have done differently?
Oh, good question. Maybe some parts, but on the other hand, no. I think we did a pretty good job. I'm actually also pretty proud of what we did, and not me, but with the whole team. I had 2 long pauses in between as well, because I gave birth to 2 beautiful boys. So sometimes I would have wished that I would have been a bit more connected, especially when my first son was born. It felt when I came back that I was back in a different company in a way.
And today, being a mom and being an entrepreneur, how do you manage?
It's going really well. I must say that's also really good from Germany. You have good, like I said, I was more than a year off with both of my boys, and we live around the corner. The kindergarten system here is paid for, and they go there 5 days a week, and they're in good hands, so I don't feel guilty or anything. And yeah, that works really well. I don't work 60, 70 hours sitting behind my desk. I do sleep, I wake up with it, we talk a lot about it as well. That's when you marry and work with the same guy. But I think it's okay. It's not that stressful. And it was stressful when they were very little more. When Flores was working here alone and I was home with my first one, it was such a transition. And then the sleepless nights, those were hard days. And I'm happy we're past that we sleep again.
And running a business together with your partner, does it make it easier that you know each other that well, or?
Yeah, for me, definitely. So we're both an only child, and we both are we love to be alone. And in a really funny way, we found each other, and if we are together, we have the feeling that we are also alone. So I think that explains a bit that we can work well, we can work really good together. Of course, there are discussion points every now and then, but not worth fighting or anything. And I like it. We have always something to discuss. I'm really grateful. We did have sort of rules, like for customer service, not later than 10, because they should pick up the phone. But it was very free and wide, and there's no how many home office days you can take. You can just decide, and as long as you do your job. But we did notice that some people do need more guidance. I'm now working on a sort of a bigger frame that is still very free. You can take a lot of holidays, but always talk with your team. So yeah, we're working in a bigger, we want to make a bigger structure now that people know in this window I can work, but they're still free to decide, and yeah, they have accountabilities and responsibilities. And then the team is also a pressure point. If you don't do it, your team also will be angry.
And you mentioned a few books that you recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Can you come up with one more book that maybe you're reading right now, or that is just really thrilling for you?
Oh, there's so many. So if you really like to read about this, the evolving of the organizations, that's the Reinventing Organization, that's definitely very interesting. But if there's a book for you, for people who like to make a change in the career swift, I would really recommend Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, from Susan Jefferson.
I heard a lot about the 4 hours work.
4-hour work week. Yeah, actually, that is also how we started the business, more or less, because when we moved to Berlin, we both read this book when we were still here for just 3 months, and that was also one of our motivators. I mean, not to work 4 hours a week, but definitely to go back into, or not back, yeah, Floris has this internet background, to do online business. And I think Tim is definitely inspiring in the sense of he meets a lot of inspiring persons. And when I had my maternity leave, every day I went a stroll with my second one and listening to the podcast, because I wasn't able to read, of course, but when I was walking he was quiet in his pram, and I didn't feel like I was totally out of the world, and I actually learned a lot.
But
Yeah.
for you, I guess, like for everyone starting a new business, they always have this concern whether it's going to work or not. Like there's no guarantee, basically.
No.
For you, have you thought of that, or did you just decide, okay, we'll just try and see what happens?
Well, I did write a business plan, of course, to have a sort of guidance and to do market research. And then we thought, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? We can always find a job in a restaurant. And I think that is the whole part of being an entrepreneur, is that you shouldn't be scared. And I also like this freedom and feeling of starting new stuff. You're super motivated, it doesn't feel like work. If you have this dream, then yeah, go for it. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's always the question you should ask yourself.
For those people who are thinking to change the career, what would be the best first step, you think?
I would first always do the research. Like if you have a business idea, write something down. You don't need to write a 60-page book. You know, there are so many templates out there already. Just Google for them and do a little market research. Is there a market? How many people are there? And are you a customer? I always like to give your future customer a name. Write it down. Maybe she's called Lisa, she is 30 years, she does this and this and this. So do a little profiling here, and that really helps. Don't have too many chats with family and friends who are always in doubt and never change their career, because they can be very demotivating, sorry to say. Yeah. Try to find people who inspire you. Read inspiring books. Only follow inspiring people on Instagram, because that can also be very demotivating. You can unfollow people who are sucking your energies down. Believe in yourself, look in the mirror and say, okay, let's give this a go. This is one of the brands we have from the start. It's not really a fancy brand, but it's super special ingredient-wise. He doesn't heat any ingredients above body temperature. So you could say this is a raw brand. That makes all the flowers and the extracts he uses are still sort of living and working. Because normally if you have to boil it, then a lot of good stuff also dies with it, with the high temperature. And especially for people with problem skin, this can be really a life savior. We have lots of stuff, and I do try lots of brands, but I always come back with Dr. Akaitis. Like, I love the night cream and I love the soothing gel. I do have a favorite mask now, which is a really pretty new brand. And I like to take this with me if I'm visiting stores and traveling through Germany. It's Orgate. It's a sheet mask, but the sheet is biodegradable. I must say, it really does something, and it's easy because I just plump it on my face. Like the powders, you always have to mix, and I'm way too lazy. But this is definitely a really cool mask, and you really see glowing, healthy skin afterwards. And I always like to pamper myself in my hotel room if I'm alone. I do love our own brand, Hero. This is where we started with, and with the mineral collection first. Here are the mineral eyeshadows, but we expanded now. We're not a mineral only brand anymore. We are vegan now, and we have also foundation, we have pressed eyeshadows. Very popular are those, I should wear this actually now, but I'm not a really big lip. Super pigmented liquid lip paints, 100% natural with a high percentage of organic ingredients. One of the best sellers is our Space Balm, which I always like on my very thin skin to cover up any blue under eye. And also the foundation I use on a daily basis with multi-stick. I like to put this on my cheeks, on my eyes, and then mascara, eyeliner, and I'm done.
So thank you guys for watching. You can find the links to Amazingy below in the description box, and you can follow them, of course, on their social media. Feel free to subscribe to this channel if you are interested in seeing more videos of this type about entrepreneurship, about careers, switching careers, finding your mission in life, because this is what I want to focus more on this channel. Follow me on Instagram, Elina Daily, and see you soon again on this channel. Bye!